Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. It is a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas. And I'm Lisa Copeland. For those of you who don't know me, but I know you know me. And today is the first day that I'm coming back on with a weekly morning show. And I'm very, very excited about it. I have worked really hard to put something together. So I want to kind of take y'all down memory lane. And I see everybody popping on right now. And it's so good to be with y'all again in the morning. So every Tuesday morning, I want you to mark your phones. I want you to mark your calendars. I want you to be ready from 7 to 7:30, 7:45. I'm not going to put an end date on it. I'm not putting a cap on success because I have so much good news to share for you guys and gals, and I'm going to help you. Good morning, Sean Hayes and Carvey and Anthony and James and Laura and all of you out there. Today is Tuesday, and I am telling you it is a beautiful day and it is a great day to move forward. So I have put together a 12-week series called Don't Panic, Pivot. And today is episode 1. And today we're going to talk about progress versus paralysis. What a crazy, crazy time it has been in our country. I don't know about the rest of you, but the world as we knew it changed about 10 weeks ago, give or take a week or two. And the only thing I can equate this to is I remember back September 11th. It was my son's 10th birthday, 2001. It was his 10th birthday. And I remember waking up that morning and seeing airplanes hit a building, hit the towers in New York. I remember feeling fear and paralyzation. I remember going to school and picking up my kids and telling my son, honey, I've got to cancel your birthday party tonight. Because in my mind, I thought the world as we know it is over. Everything we've enjoyed and the greatness of our country and the freedom and everything we've had is over. Because see, we've been attacked. How will we ever come out of this? I remember canceling his birthday party way before the world of Facebook and all of that. And we decided to take him to the local pizza parlor where we were going to have the party. And us sitting in there. There were 6 people, y'all, that were sitting in that restaurant. The 2 employees and the 4 of us, me, my husband, my daughter, and the birthday boy. And it was one of those big places like a Chuck E. Cheese, but it wasn't Chuck E. Cheese. And everybody's playing game. I mean, my 10-year-old son's playing games. My daughter's with him at the time she was 12 years old. And me sitting at the table watching back then, the TVs that are bolted up on the walls and watching television and thinking, God, it'll never be the same. It'll never be the same. Our country's been attacked. Okay, I have not felt like how I felt 6 weeks ago since that day of 9/11 when our country was attacked. And I know every single one of you felt the same way. I thought, life is good. We're all traveling. Life is great. Business is just unbelievable. And then all of a sudden we wake up and we have a worldwide pandemic. We've been attacked. We have been attacked by a virus, right? Not just us. It wasn't just New York. It was the entire world. And ladies and gentlemen, friends out there, we were told life as you know it. The coin phrase was the new normal, the new normal. I hate that word, the new normal. And you know why I hate the new normal? I wrote about it in my book, Crushing Mediocrity. My son, everything goes back to my son. I swear, JT Copeland, you better be watching this someday. My son had an accident and we didn't think he'd ever walk again. And we were in the emergency room. It was about 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, it was one of those dumb kid accidents, right? Dumb kid meaning dumb drunk college kid, right? And the doctor came into us because he was paralyzed. And the doctor came into us, and I'll never forget. He said, this just might be your new normal. Well, when you're sitting and you're paralyzed and you're fearful and you're just glad that your family member is still breathing, you're okay with the new normal. And that night in the emergency room, I just remember going through my head, okay, if my son never walks again, I will build a new, I'll widen the doors in our house. I'll make sure that, or I'll build a new house that, the wheelchair can be in. All these crazy thoughts went through my head, but it was my new normal. It was my new normal. Thank God he did come out of it. But you see, if we condition ourselves to what the new normal is, then friends, we will fail. We will fail. And that is what we're hearing in the press. Oh, this is your new normal. Life's never going to be good again. It's your new normal. We've been attacked by a virus. It's your new normal. You have to wear face masks everywhere you go. You're going to be furloughed. You can't go back to work. It's your new normal. Well, you know what? I'm here to tell you today, I'm not going to accept the new normal. I will not accept it, and I don't want one of you to accept it either. We in the United States of America and around the world, we are warriors. We are resistant. Every single person on this feed, I'm so glad to see y'all. It's so good to be back. Liza and Craig and Cindy and Corey. And I will tell you what, y'all, I'm on StreamYard. So we're broadcasting to multiple streams. So if you will do me a favor, if I don't see your name on here, it's because it just says Facebook user. I need you to hit the StreamYard button and give StreamYard permission to put your name up there, because I want to have this conversation. I want to tell you today that we are not going to accept the new normal, because the only other time I had that beat into my head was in the middle of the night in the emergency room when I thought my son would never walk again. Now, as a parent, I would have taken the new normal because I was just glad he was alive. Yeah, dumb kid, right? You have to read the book to get the story. It was his fault. Anyways, that being said, I am not going to accept a new normal. I have made the decision that I won't panic. I'll pivot. And I'll tell you about a couple of the pivots I made. And then we're going to talk about how you can pivot, the pivots you're going to make, and how every single one of us is going to come out of this thing better. It's not going to be our new normal. We're not going to accept mediocrity. We're not going to accept the fact that we can't be all we can be. We're not going to accept the fact that we're going to be locked down forever. We're not going to accept the fact that we can't see our family members. We're not going to accept the fact that we can't go make a living. We're not going to accept the fact that we cannot thrive during difficult times. I won't accept it, and I don't want any one of you to accept it either. So if I can get some hearts and some shares and some love on that, I want to know that every single one of you are with me in the fact that we will not accept the new normal. We're going to go out there and we're going to blaze trails. So I'm going to show you one of my new normals, and I think the women especially are going to love it. My new normal. These are press-on nails. Now, I know all my lady friends out there, we go to the salon and we do our dip, and it's about $50 or $60, and you have to do it twice a month. $100 to $120 a month is probably what I spent on my nails. I hope my husband's not watching this. I don't know that he ever totally put together how much I spent on just my fingernails. Okay. Well, we could not go to the salon, and my nails were tragic. So I thought, well, I'll pivot. What was the pivot? The pivot was going and getting the $4, and the brand is called Kiss. And I tell you that, ladies, because wow, these things have been on for over 2 weeks now. They're gorgeous if you could see them in person, and they cost $4. And I have not even had one pop off yet. See, I could have sat and cried about my nails, but I pivoted. All of you out there who hadn't had a haircut, ladies and men who have not had your roots done, I found the stuff you spray in your hair, and I was painting in my roots so they weren't this long of gray. Okay, I pivoted. That's a panic. And I say a bit of that tongue in cheek, because at the end of the day, there's always another way to do things. There's always a way to get around it. Or we can sit on the couch. We can sit in the corner. We can suck our thumb. What are we going to do out there? All right, we're going to come back. Great. Yes, we will prevail. So episode 1 today. Okay. And we're going to take baby steps, and we're going to start. Episode 1 today is progress versus paralysis. Okay. And so, I'm not laying out the whole enchilada to every one of you today. You got to come back next Tuesday, and you got to continue to watch the post. You got to continue to watch what I've got going on to understand. But step 1 is progress. And we've all had a lot of time to get our house in order. And part of that is the proverbial house. Okay. I watch on Facebook, and I'm watching all of you on Facebook, and I'm seeing, Josh O's got a new job in Virginia, which I knew about a while back. And I'm so glad to see he's hooked up with the Carter Meyer Auto Group. I saw Melissa Burrows post yesterday. She's not panicking. She's in a film studio because somebody wants to back her idea, and she's filming courses. Okay. I see everybody out there. I was watching my dear friend Glenn Lundy's show this morning, his 800 Club. Crushing it, right? Okay, these are people that have said, I'm not going to let this hold me back. Then I see people out there going, I haven't gotten out of my sweats in 6 weeks. And, I'm on my 14th Netflix series. And does anybody have any suggestions out there for Netflix? Okay, boo, stop. Get your house in order. Get your house in order for what I know is going to be one of the greatest comebacks in history. Because you see, as Americans, we don't fail. We're not going to, I don't want one person to settle for the new normal. Like I said, that statement alone almost puts me in paralysis because what I equate it to, my son in the emergency room in the middle of the night, where I was just glad he was alive. And the doctor looked at me and said, this just may be your new normal. He may be paralyzed, but he'll make it. Okay. I never want to hear that again. I will never accept that again. And I wasn't going to accept it that night. I already had the wheels turning about finding the best people. I mean, y'all, I'd even started working with the Christopher Reeve Paralysis Foundation down in Houston. I mean, we were making plans to air flight him to Houston to be in the best hospitals in the country, best hospital in the country for neck injuries, because he had a neck injury. Yeah, he was wrestling one night with his buddies at a frat party and got thrown on his head. And then the guys all played for the University of Texas. I'll go ahead and put it out there. And I mean, everyone from the coach of UT was calling me, please do not turn us in. Okay. And they decided to move him that night versus call 911 because many of them were underage drinking. Oh, yeah. I'll never accept the new normal. It absolutely sends me into pivot. So some of the pivots I had to make this year, I had the biggest year lined up of my entire speaking career. In fact, I was supposed to be in Kentucky at the keynoting the Kentucky Auto Dealers Association on June 12th or 13th. I was very excited. I was going to go see my friend Josh Cummins and Glenn Lundy and the Twangs and all my dear friends in Kentucky. Canceled. I got rescheduled for 2022 because they already had a speaker for 2021. Anyways, every conference that I was keynoting, every company I was coming into got moved to 2021. All right. 6 figures. Had to pivot. That's how I make my living, right? I made the decision 6 months ago, that I would come back in and I would handle, just the marketing aspect for our mortgage company. We celebrated our 20th anniversary and I really just wanted to take on that one little project of 20 years, almost $1 billion in loan originations. I wanted to take that on. I wanted to blow it up. I wanted to do all of that. Well, I went from that to coming back to being the president of the company. Because thank God, it's this month, last month, and this month are the 2 biggest months in the history of 20 years that we've ever had in our company. All right. And it's for a lot of different reasons. Boss is back in town, the marketing's up, the rates are low, all kinds of things, right? Really, really fit into that, really came back into that groove after being gone for over 10 years. But even that, still something was tugging at me. How do I take what I love to do? All right. Which is the whole piece about building teams, building networks. How do I take that? How do I continue to do what I do for our own company? I pivot. I reach out to some people. I signed a major contract on Monday. And what I will tell you is I'm going to be in Dallas, Texas tomorrow. This is part of the pivot. I signed the contract. And so I've got a couple of new partners. One of them is a major celebrity. We are about to take the real estate world by storm. And I'm talking global storm. And tomorrow I'll announce it when we're in Dallas. Very excited about it. And guess what? Every single one of you can be involved if you want to be. All right. We're not going to let the year that I started on January 1st, I thought was going to be something very, very different than what the year is looking like now. But guess what? Because I made the decision not to panic when every single one of my contracts got canceled, y'all, every single one of them, hundreds and thousands of dollars canceled. And they're not even canceled. They're postponed. I have all that money paying forward in 2021. Okay. I could have absolutely flipped out. And said, oh my God, what's going to happen? I had plans for all of that, but I didn't. I pivoted. So I want to start this morning with the pivot, and I cannot wait to come to everybody and tell you the deal that was signed yesterday. It's been working for a while, but it was signed yesterday, and you wait to see who I've signed it with. And there's an opportunity for everybody I know, not only in the United States, but around the world. Wow, the pivot. So sometimes the comeback is bigger than the setback. The comeback is bigger than the setback. And will your comeback be bigger than your setback? Will you settle for the new normal? I hope you say, hell no, I'm not settling for the new normal. So as I prepare for the biggest comeback in my history, in my career, and still wrapping in everything I do on a daily basis, I want to tell you the first steps that I had to get done. And I want to tell you, so this is step 1 of your comeback, because I don't want one of you to settle for a setback. So if you're out there this morning, you're like, I want to come back. I'm not going to be set back. I'm not going to settle for the new normal. Now's the time to share it out. Tag your friends and share it out, because there is not one person on planet Earth that should not be preparing for the greatest comeback in history. And it will be that everything you're making it. And I'm going to tell you all one of the reasons I think it is one of the biggest comebacks, because there are so many people sitting on the couch sucking their thumbs. There are so many people sitting on the couch watching Netflix. There are so many people on the couch getting their unemployment checks going, man, I'm making more money now than I did when I had to go to work to the 9 to 5. I'm making more money now. I'm doing better now. I got freedom. I don't have to answer to the boss man. I'm getting that check from the government. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, that is no way to live. There is not a person out there. I don't care what your education level is. I don't care what you've done in the past. I don't care. There's not one person that cannot make the biggest comeback in history, but you have to make the decision to make that comeback. Share this out. Who do you know that needs the biggest comeback in history? Who do you know that is sitting in the corner right now, sucking their thumb, or on the couch watching Netflix, getting the government check, waiting for someone else to tell them what next steps are? Friends, this is not our new normal. I won't accept it, and I don't want anybody else to accept it. So step one on how to pivot. And these are just things I did. And so I've written them down, because today is just baby steps, but you got to get your house in order. I'm going to see who's on here this morning who I've not said hello to yet. Christy. Oh, Christy McLeod knows the story of my son. My son and her daughter used to date. And God, that's a whole nother story. I love that girl. All right, Chris Campbell, how are you? Hey, Brian Hart, how are you? I got so many people on here. Everyone's saying, I am ready for a comeback. I am not going to accept a setback. We've all been set back. I am telling you, when I kept getting all of these postponements, I'm like, there goes another 10,000, 50,000 in huge chunks of money, consulting deals. Hey, we're not bringing in outside consultants right now. We'll see you in 2021. Okay. All right. I'll figure it out. And I did. Okay. I did. But number one, the first thing you've got to do to pivot, the first thing you got to do to get your house in order for the comeback of the century, the first thing that I did, and I know this is going to sound, you're going to go, well, wait a minute, I want something bigger. I want you to tell me like, boom, but I'm not going to. Okay, so the first thing I did was I went through all of my social media, okay? Because when I make the announcement of what we're doing, you're going to see how social media plays such a huge part in the deal that we put together. But I went through and I cleaned up all my contacts on social media. Okay. I went through Twitter. I unfollowed about 4,000 people. Now, why did I do that? Because there's a ratio on Twitter. Okay. And you cannot follow over 2,000 people more than that follow you. So I unfollowed 4,000 people. I've got about 6,800 followers. I unfollowed 4,000. So I've got some leverage to be able to make some moves on Twitter. Okay. So go through on your social media. I went through on Facebook, and I'm not quite done yet because I literally, y'all, I had to do this in chunks because of it's a massive project. I mean, hours and hours and hours. If you all are not on Periscope, I'm going to tell you right now, get on Periscope. Get on Periscope. Huge deals going down there. Okay, so clean up your social media. I want to see every single one of you. I want you to rewrite your bios. What I went through, and I started looking at LinkedIn, Facebook, bios on my speaker site, bios on our mortgage website, all of our bios, right? All of it, because knowing the kind of attention that we're going to have in the next couple of weeks, it's like, man, I want everything to be tight. All right. And the only thing I haven't redone yet is the Cars Her Way stuff, because Her Way is about to get bigger than just cars. So anyways, so rewrite your bios, bring it up to date, and I would put in your bios, if I was seeing every single one of you, I'd put in your bios, you know what? I am somebody who is not going to settle for the new normal. I am somebody who is making a major pivot. I'm looking to make some moves. I'm looking to blow up the rest of 2020. And if I'm somebody you want to know, put it out there. And I'm going to give you guys and gals some examples of that in big sellers of some great lead-ins on your social media, on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, on your bios. But it's time to clean up the house, right? It is time to get a fresh perspective. It is time to possibly make a move. You never know. Okay. There's a lot of great people out hiring right now. There's a lot of good people out hiring right now. I want to see every single one of you to get mortgages her way. Well, Anthony, you're close, honey. You are close. It's bigger than that. And just so you know, Anthony, there's a lot of equal housing laws. So it's a little bit different of a pivot than that, but it's huge. Anyways, get a social scheduler. All right. For those of you who are serious about making a comeback, I use Promo Republic. All right. So I am able to run all the social media for real estate, mortgages, Lisa Copeland, Cars Your Way. Everything is on this social scheduler. And there's a lot of great tools out there right now that can help you. And I'll be going through this later, that can actually help you create content and that you can brand personally. And, get serious about social media, because you will never be a social cellionaire. You want to be a millionaire? No, you want to be a cellionaire, a social cellionaire, unless you get your act ready. And if you get your social media lined up with what it is you want to do. Okay. Hey, Michael Tyler. Hello, my love. So yeah. And Anthony says, the recruiting industry is on fire. I know it's on fire. I know it's on fire. Everything we're doing is on fire right now. Okay. People are looking for something different. People have been disappointed by their employers. People have been furloughed. I can tell y'all stories of people that have called me. They're like, I don't understand. I got furloughed by my employer. And then guess what? I see that they're still doing a lot of business, and, I can go on and on. People are looking for the comeback. They are not going to accept the setback. I don't want anybody who will accept a setback. I want to help people that are looking for the comeback. And the comeback is right around the corner. I give you my word about that. So find a social scheduler. I like Promo Republic personally, but more to come on that. I want every single one of you to define your brand authority. Who are you? Who are you? You want to be an authority within your market. Are you in real estate? Are you in mortgages? Are you in automotive industry? Are you an influencer? Are you in the recruiting industry? How are you going to define your authority brand? I had the honor last week of being a guest keynote speaker on Sharon Lecter's Assets Are Sexy. And we had some of the biggest women in the world with billion-dollar companies, billion with a B. Kendrick Shope and I were talking about the fact, man, how are we even worthy to be on the stage, the virtual stage with these women? But the common thread that they have in common is that they've established their authority brand. And they never come off of it. And I look at my dear friend Sharon Lopes. Oh my God, I was going to say hello to Frank Lopes. Sharon Lecter. Okay, many of you who know me know Sharon, and she was the co-author and co-founder of the largest personal development brand in the world, which was the Rich Dad Empire. Tens and billions of dollars in sales. And then was brought in by the Napoleon Hill Foundation to revitalize the Napoleon Hill brand. Okay, she is known as the leading authority when it comes to financial literacy. Okay, nothing else will do. She didn't panic during the downturn. No, her brand and her business is bigger than ever. All right, we had almost 1,300 people on for that summit. Sharon and I made the decision to do a book club for Outwitting the Devil, because there is no better time, such a time as this, to read Outwitting the Devil. We have over 1,700 people from around the world in our Outwitting the Devil. Okay. It's all about expanding your territories. So I want you to think about, before we come back next week, what is the one thing that you do better than anybody else on planet Earth? What is the one thing? What is it? Think about it, friends. The one thing. All right. Hey, Lachelle, Rick, how are you? Yes, I am on fire. I am fired up. Okay. So you're going to define your authority brand. I want you to find the one word, the one thing. Gary Keller of Keller Williams wrote a great book called The One Thing. And I read it several times. I actually spoke on it a couple of times. And, for someone like me, who I consider myself a entrepreneur for sure, and it's nothing for me to run 4 or 5 different projects at one time. But, Gary Keller says, if you're going to be great, you're going to define the one thing. What is your one thing? What is the thing that makes you an authority? What is the one thing that makes you better than your competition? I want you to think about that before next week. Okay. Talking about social media. I want you to go through and I want you to, example, I didn't even realize it. I had 14 Facebook pages. all different groups I had started or whatever. Go through and deactivate everything. I want you to have the 1 or 2 or 3 Facebook pages, right? So I've got my speaker page or my, business page. I've got my personal page, and then I've got big sellers. All right. And I've got Cars Your Way and Austin Mortgage and some of that, but just the ones that I really contribute to, right? That are not just, hey, Melissa Burrow, I'm going to be in your town tomorrow. I'm coming to Dallas, Texas. Anyways, so I want you to deactivate old social media accounts. I don't want people to be confused. I want people to know where to find you. I want you to pour into your Facebook accounts. I want you to blow it up because every single one of you on this feed, and if you share this out and anybody you talk to, I want you to say it out loud. I want you to write it in the sand that you are not accepting any setbacks. You are in it for the comeback, and you're going to come back bigger, better, stronger, wiser, all of the above. And these are just some of the baby steps. Okay, all I'm telling you today, and next week we will get into some more. These are the baby steps of getting your house in order for the biggest comeback of your life and your career. All right. So I want you to get your social media accounts in order. I want you to combine pages. I want you to go through your social media. I want you to get rid of the dead weight. Okay. I want you to get rid of people that you don't need to follow anymore. I hope I'm not one of them, but I might be. I want you to get rid of people that you don't want to follow anymore. I want you to get rid of people, as my dear friend Frank Lopes would say, and I would say Sherry Matthews is in it to win it. I want you to get rid of people that are just not your people. They're just not your people. They're negative. They don't support you. They don't support your values. They're just not your people. I don't need to fill my mind with a bunch of crap of negative people, of people that are uneducated, of people who think that they're doctors, lawyers, political strategists, whatever it may be. Bye. Okay. And I have not finished with Facebook yet because it's a huge task, but I did it on LinkedIn. I've done it on Twitter. I've done it on Periscope. And so over the next few days, of course, I'm in Dallas tomorrow, making some big moves, some big announcements. Sherry knows what they are. But I'm going to work on that through the end of the week. And I am going to build, because see, better is not more on more is not better on social media, y'all. It's not. Who's your tribe? Who are your people? Who is going to root for you as you're making the biggest comeback in the history of the world? You see, there's a lot of people out there that are set back. And guess what? They're going to accept what the press is telling them. They're going to accept that this is their new normal. You know what? Those are not my people. And I know, because every single one of you that are on here this morning, those are not your people either. Get rid of them. Block them. Bye-bye. Get rid of them. Okay? Start with your email. Guess what I've been doing? I've been unsubscribing. What freedom that I don't wake up to 500 spams anymore. That I don't wake up to 500 spam emails anymore. I only wake up to about 100 now. But everyone, I'm unsubscribing, unsubscribe, right? I'm trying to get things tight. I'm getting ready for the comeback, right? And anything else, God, my eyes watering like crazy. Anything else is a distraction. It's a distraction in my world. It's a distraction in your world. What are you going to do for the comeback? All right. What are you going to do for the comeback? I want you to go in and I want you to ask for reviews. God, my hair is making me crazy today. I want you to ask for reviews from your colleagues and your clients. But to get a review, you got to give a review. Get into your LinkedIn account. I want you to build that LinkedIn account tight, strong. Okay. That is the future of the comeback. All right. I want you to go out and I want you to find 5 to 6 people a week that you know that you've worked with, that your colleagues, and I want you to give them a review. All right. I want you to help build their business for their comeback. And then you will have the right to ask them to review you. I want you to go and I want you to set up, on Instagram. I want you to get your Instagram page. Okay. I want you to get it going. Now that's something I'm working with a lot right now. All right. And I'm learning Canva and I'm getting ready to hire somebody, but right now I have to set the bones for what I want these pages to look like. Okay. YouTube. I want you to set up a YouTube account. I want you to be ready for the comeback. I want you to be where the people are. Okay. I want you to make the decision. What is it I'm going to be in my comeback? I want you to come back harder and stronger than you've ever been in your life. Michelle, clean up your email. Yes. Build your LinkedIn. Okay. What we're talking about today, y'all, is that we are preparing for the comeback. We're preparing for the biggest comeback of all times. You see, because if you're just coming into this now, I am not accepting the fact that this is our new normal. I'm not accepting the fact that I had to postpone hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of contracts into 2021. I could have absolutely lost my mind over that deal. Forget about it. Now I just know 2021 set up. Okay. That's the mindset I have to have. Who do you know? You know, the deal I just put together, signed the contracts yesterday, going to be in Dallas, Texas tomorrow. This is somebody I knew from a couple of years ago. Somebody I've been watching, somebody I see that has aligned himself with one of the biggest celebrities in the world when it comes to the real estate market. I called him. He and I have been in contact before, and I said, I want to know what you're doing. And by the end of the conversation, he said, I want you to do it with us. I want you to be our third partner. Oh, okay, let's do it, right? And there was a whole lot more to that story, and you guys will see it tomorrow when we do some stuff from Dallas. But you got to pick up the phone. You see, I had to start picking up the phone and calling some people that I have known that have a bigger brand than my brand, that have a bigger company than my company, right? How the power of association. We talk about it in Outwitting the Devil. Sharon talks about it all through everything. The power of association. Who are you associated with? Who are you going to make the biggest comeback in history with? You see, I did. In fact, Sherry Matthews is on here today, and I talked to her about it, and she was just screaming in her car yesterday, like, whoa, because she knows. You see, the biggest comeback in history is not going to happen by accident. Friends, who do you know? The power of association. Now, by next week, I'm going to be inviting a lot of you to consider doing and joining us, okay? But until then, what is it you do? How do you up your game? How do you up your influence? How do you become an authority? How do you pivot? How do you make sure that this opportunity, that when the competition has been sleeping, and this is what I'll tell you, is that 90%, this is why I'm excited, and we're even seeing it in our mortgage business, 90% of the competition is sleeping. They're accepting the fact that this is the new normal. They're laying off people. I can go on and on. It's ridiculous. But anyways, they're accepting it. So the competition is asleep. There is no better time for a comeback when the competition is accepting a setback, when the competition is asleep, when the competition is just mediocre because they're going to ride it through, and then someday business is going to, no, you're going to make it happen. There is no better time to go out and slay it than today, than in the year 2020. All right? 2020 is perfect vision. Don't ever forget that. Okay? Did we have a setback? No. I think that we were given an opportunity to get our house in order. What are you going to do to get your house in order? I've given you some of the stuff today. I want you to, before I see you next week on this show, all right? Yes, build your brand. Yeah, I saw my friend Sean Hayes was on there earlier. I hope he's still on. I mean, talk about someone who built his brand, right? He was a car salesman. And Sean, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I'm sure you do. I was on the Sean Hayes show. I was probably one of his first guests 2 to 3 years ago. And I remember talking to him pre-show. And I said, so Sean, what is it you want to do in the car business? And he said, I want to be a car dealer someday. And I said, okay. You know, that's the same way I felt at the time. I mean, I was a car dealer, but I said, okay, well, that's cool. He's like, no, seriously, I want to be a car dealer. So what did he do? He took his brand and he built it through social, and he is now on the road to being a partner and a general manager. He's not on the road. He's doing it. He's done it. And it was the power of association. It was the power that he joined what I think is one of the best auto groups in the nation, Carter Myers, you know, Scott Simons and Liza Borges, right? You know, he made the decision. He was intentional. He got his house in order. I know a lot of people gave him a hard time about walking around being on Facebook all day long. Hey, it paid off. Okay. You've got to be crystal clear. You've got to make the decision when you get off this show today. You make the decision. You know what? I have decided I'm going to make the biggest comeback in history. And what does that comeback do? It builds legacy. It protects your family. It protects your finances. It gets you ready for what's coming. Because ladies and gentlemen and friends out there, the competition is asleep. And this is better time than ever to make the comeback, to pivot, not panic, to make progress versus paralysis. So my assignment for you, okay, my assignment for you until we meet again next week is to get your house in order. Start looking through everything out there. I want you to look at your LinkedIn. I want you to look at your social media. I want you to look at your branding assets the way anybody else would look at them. A potential employer, a potential business partner, a potential whatever it may be. I want you to show the whole world that you mean business, that you are not the average person, that you are not mediocre, that you are ready for a comeback, that you're not accepting a setback, that you're ready for a comeback, and you're looking for people to come around you to help you do that, to help you build out the biggest year of your life and your career. Yeah, Sherry, pivot, don't panic. Melissa says, eliminate all the distractions and just go for it. Doesn't matter what is going on in the world. It matters on what's going on in your world. Focus. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want everybody out there to commit that you're not going to accept the new normal. If I hear it one more time on the news, I am physically going to throw up. And I guess for me, it's such a traumatic statement because of what I told you all about earlier with my son. In the middle of the night, had a terrible self-induced accident, I might add. Self-induced accident, it is the call that no parent wants to get. Hi, this is Brackenridge. It's the emergency room, and we have your son in here. You need to get down here right away. That is the worst call any parent can get in the middle of the night. And then walking in and seeing your son who can't move from the neck down, and the doctor coming in, the ER doctor, the neurologist saying, he's alive, he's paralyzed, we don't know why, we don't know if we can fix it. It just may be your new normal. Those were his exact words. It scarred me for life. Okay? I'll never accept the new normal. I wasn't going to accept it that night. I was just glad he was alive. But do not think Mama was not in overdrive Monday, finding out where I was going to ship my son to get what he needed to get back on his feet again. Okay. Don't ever accept the new normal. Don't ever, because those are people who will tell you, the whole world will try to tell you what you should be, how you should be it. They will try to, put you in a box. All right. The great ones never allow people to put them in a box. The great ones know and understand the power of association. I know every single one of you are great. I know every single one of you want to be great, or you wouldn't be on here this morning. I believe that for you. I do. I believe every single one of you want to come out of this thing bigger and better and stronger. And that's what I want to help you do every Tuesday morning. But we got to get our house in order, y'all. Got to get our house in order. So what I told you today to wrap up is, how are you going to get your house in order? You got to start with the baby steps, because as I start layering on the big steps, all right, over the next 12 weeks, you got to start with the baby steps. And so I want to see you go in. I want you to clean out. I want you to clean up the house. I want you to go in. I want you to rewrite all your bios. I want you to go in. I want you to clean up your social media, because that's where people are looking for you now. That is where people are looking. That is the power of association. That is where you're going to find the next big deal. That is where you're going to find the next client. That's where the next client's going to find you. That's where you might find your next gig. You got to clean it up. And some of you really need to clean it up. All right. You got to take the emotion out of this thing. Got to take it out. I was guilty of it the first week. Oh God. Oh, what are we going to do? No, I know what we're going to do. We're going to pivot, not panic. And sometimes the pivot, and like I told you when we got onto this thing earlier today, many times the comeback is bigger than the setback. But the setback is what will define you. The setback is what people are watching. People are watching what you're doing right now. I know people are watching what I'm doing right now. This meeting that I've got tomorrow in Dallas, Texas, I could have done it over Skype, but I'm like, no way. I'm getting in my car. I'm driving 3 hours. We're going to do this meeting in person. We're going to shake hands in person. We're going to take the pictures in person. We're going to go out with this live. Okay. We're going to celebrate the win. We're going to celebrate the win. And I'll tell you, I would not, if everything would have been clicking along, I would not have put the deal together that I put together that'll be announced tomorrow. I wouldn't have put it together because I was good. I was great. This deal is 10 to 100x bigger than anything I've ever done in my life. But I had to go find it. I had to go figure out how I was going to pivot. What are you going to do to pivot? You see, there's a bigger deal on the horizon. And it's probably not just going to hit you in the face. You're going to have to go find it. But you're going to have to be somebody else wants to do a deal with. What are you going to do? You're going to get your house in order. You're not going to panic. You're going to pivot. Your comeback is going to be bigger than the setback. All right, I'm going to say some hellos. I'm going to get some conversations going because I'm on a roll. Let me get up here a little bit more. Lachelle, get the house and business in order. Adam Aarons, what does Adam say? Fear and confusion creates paralysis. Sorry for paralysis reference. Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm still so. Oh, anyways, that creates opportunity for those that recognize it in others and their competitive set. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Amanda, I swear to you, I was trying to come up with that when I was saying in a box. I was thinking, what is that baby quote? No one puts baby in a box. No, nobody puts baby in a corner. Are you going to be baby? Are you going to let anybody put you in a corner? If you do, you're not my people. You're just not my people. What did I just do here? Okay, so I just want to tell all of you right now, it is time. It is time for you to absolutely go to the next level. I am so excited about what the opportunities are for every single one of us in here. Get your house in order. Kay Briggs, it's not normal. It is not my new normal. I want you to say that every single day. This is not my new normal. Because again, you turn on the news, oh, this is your new normal. No, it's not. It might be your new normal, but it's not mine. I won't accept it. I am in for the comeback. I am not going to settle. And I'm not going to believe in the setback. I'm going to believe that this was the good Lord's way to elevate me. All right? It's all up here. What do you believe? What do you believe? And what are you going to believe? Okay? Now my screen just went